Gary.
Hello. Hello, friends. We're here again with That's English.
Today we're going to watch a very interesting documentary.
Yes, it's about the daily life and social roles of two very different people. A woman priest and a male midwife.
Una mujer sacerdote, a woman priest, y un hombre comadrón, a male midwife.
Don't forget these two new terms, woman priest and midwife. You'll hear them in today's documentary.
There are more new words in today's documentary. Say prayers, rezar.
Sermon, que significa sermón. Non-sexist, no sexista. Deliver, en este contexto, asistir a un parto. Y pregnancy, embarazo.
Si a pesar del vocabulario que os hemos dado no lo entendéis todo, no os preocupéis. Lo importante es comprender el sentido general.
Y ahora vienen las preguntas que tendréis que contestar después de ver el documental. Primero vamos con Sally, la mujer sacerdote.
The first question is, when does Sally do these things? Visit someone who is ill? Have meetings? Write sermons?
Y ahora con las de Paul, el hombre comadrón.
Does Paul have any problems with his patients?
And finally, what does Paul think of his job?
¿Habéis tomado nota de las preguntas que debéis contestar? ¿Sí?
Then let's watch our Out and About.
Here lives a woman with a profession which doesn't exist in Spain. Sally is a woman priest.
She's one of the first women priests in the Church of England.
We asked Sally to tell us about her daily routine.
I get up at about 7:30. I don't like to get up early. At 9 o'clock we say prayers together in my church, and in the morning there are a number of things I could do. To go and visit someone who is ill in hospital, or to go to school to take a service for the children. In the afternoon I might write a sermon or do some of my paperwork. In the evening we have meetings.
We went with her to her church.
We attended part of the religious ceremony. We asked her how she felt working with men and what her male colleagues thought about it.
I have been very lucky working with male colleagues who think that this is a good idea. Sometimes some men priests are a little unhappy.
Spirit, be upon each one of you, be upon all those whom you love, whatever they may be, this day and for always. Amen.
We also felt curious about knowing how people react when they see the priest is a woman.
Sometimes people are a little surprised, though there are nearly 1,000 women ministers in the Church of England, but usually that surprise turns to pleasure that women are priests now as well.
We came to this hospital to interview a male midwife. This is a job usually done by women in the United Kingdom and in Spain.
The first question we asked him was if we should call him a midwife or a mid-husband.
Midwife is an Old English term which means with woman, and it's therefore non-sexist. It doesn't apply to me as a man, and I am a midwife.
We saw him attending his patients.
And we felt curious about what the women thought when they saw the midwife was a man.
Usually the women I look after, I've already delivered their babies before, so there's no problems. But if women come to me for the first time, they walk into the room and it may be difficult for them to understand whether I'm a midwife or a doctor because we don't wear uniform.
And our last question was, why did you choose to be a midwife?
I didn't choose to be a midwife. The job chose me. I had worked before in Australia and I came back to this country to train as a nurse. After that, I went on to train as a midwife, and being a midwife is very different from being a nurse, and it is something that is really wonderful.
Paul's patients seemed to be very pleased with him. Did you enjoy it? Do you remember the first question? It was, when does Sally do these things? Visit someone who is ill? Write sermons? Have meetings? Let's see.
And in the morning there are a number of things I could do. To go and visit someone who is ill in hospital, or to go to school to take a service for the children. In the afternoon I might write a sermon or do some of my paperwork. In the evening we have meetings.
So Sally visits someone who is ill in the morning, she writes sermons in the afternoon, and she has meetings in the evening.
The next question was, does Paul have any problems with his patients?
So usually there's no problems.
The answer is no.
And the last question was, what does Paul think of his job?
And it is something that is really wonderful.
He thinks being a midwife is really wonderful.
For me, something really wonderful would be to be a judge.
¿A judge? ¿Te gustaría ser jueza?
Ahora veréis lo que pasó en nuestro sketch.
I'm scum.
Well,
what am I doing here?
What are you doing here?
You haven't done a thing at home.
I work.
No, you don't.
I go to work.
So
I will
what
you
do?
for you to
What do
spend
I
it
do?
on all
We
the
just spend on what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, just a few questions. Who does the housework?
Well,
We both do the housework.
it isn't true. I work more hours than you do, and I do most of the housework.
Let's see. Who does the shopping?
Well,
We both do the shopping on Saturdays.
I cook every day,
I cook on Sundays.
and I make the beds.
I do the dusting.
Well, you do the dusting once a month. I tidy up every day.
You see, Your Honor, it's impossible to talk to him.
I want a divorce.
You should be more patient with your wife. For centuries, women haven't worked in the house. They're not used to it. But she loves you, don't you?
Yes. I love him.
You see, you shouldn't break your marriage for such a little thing. Think about your son.
Las mujeres son unas abusonas.
Pero qué cínico.
¿Pardon?
Cínico, que eres un cínico. Precisamente en este sketch yo adoptaba el papel del hombre.
Bueno. Vamos a ver qué tal hacen nuestros amigos tu papel en el sketch.
Vamos a volver a pasar el sketch, pero esta vez mi personaje quedará mudo.
Ah, y vosotros, con la ayuda de unos rótulos, tendréis que hacer el papel de Sara en inglés.
Who does the housework?
Well, we both do the housework.
It isn't true.
Let's see. Who does the shopping?
We both do the shopping on Saturdays.
I cook every day.
I cook on Sundays.
Well, we're near the end. But before saying goodbye,
We are going to remember what we have learned this week, such as doing the housework, ironing, dusting, washing up, vacuuming,
Doing the shopping.
tidying up the house,
Taking the children to school. And that's all for today. This is the end of today's program. Oh, can I give my address today? I'd like to receive letters from the students.
No, Gary, you are a presenter, not a film star.
Well, I know I'm not a film star, but I'd like to receive letters so much.
See you in the next program of That's English.
See you soon. Bye.